Hey, it's Jeff Douglas here with Apiro and Cloud Spokes, and this is my entry for the Veterans Hackday 2011 from LinkedIn. And also on Cloud Spokes, we supported the Hackday also by starting our own challenge and offering an extra $100 for anyone from Cloud Spokes who actually submitted an entry for the Hackday. So before we get started, this is a Veterans Day challenge, and so I wanted to give a shout out to some veterans in my life. My great grandfather was on the USS Arizona down on Pearl Harbor Day. My grandfather has 8 Bronze Stars from the Pacific from World War II, and he's still alive as of today. And then a shout out to my kids. I have one son in the Army. He's at SOCOM at Fort Bragg, and another one who's in the Navy, and he's on Lemoore Naval Air Station, and he's an avionics technician. So this is my application, and it is called the Chow Finder. And I got the idea from my sons. I asked them what I should build for this hack day. And they had a couple of ideas. One was to find out when the next jumps were up, but I think the one that was most popular was food. So as you know, all service members love to eat, and they're always wondering where their next meal is coming from. So my son said, well, he had a sergeant who was always sending a private down to find out when the chow hall was open, what they're having to eat that day. So I thought an easy way to do it would be to have a mobile application where you could just allow service members on a post or on a ship or in Afghanistan or in Japan to enter in, their location. I'm at Lemoore Naval Air Station, and here are the 5 chow halls on the air station, and they could enter the locations in there, show those on Google Maps, and then enter times and prices and stuff like that. So this is my application. It's the Chow Finder. So first thing we do is you have a list of locations. It's a little wonky on my Android emulator, so let's see how it runs. And you get a list of locations. And these are ones that, of course, the users have entered. So let's say, for instance, I am in the Army, and I know one time when I was in, I went on TDY to Keezer Air Force Base, and I didn't know what there was to eat there. So this would be a good way for me to find out what chow halls are on a location that I'm not familiar with or one that I'm unfamiliar with. So I can find a list of locations, and I can click on this location here, and I can see that there are 2 locations to eat at. And I can say, let's go look at details of this one right here. And this will give me the information such as, the name of the location. Actually, let's go back and look at this other one. It has better data in here. We'll go to the main dining hall. And this has things in here such as the name of the dining hall, the location, and this is actually a link to Google Maps. So we click on that, we'll see Google Maps. You'll have hours of operation, and a lot of times if you're not on a meal plan, you may have TDY cash, and so you have to pay for your own meal. So maybe we'll list here, look at prices for meals and some kind of descriptions. And let's say there are specials at each day you may have, so you can look at different specials for those days. And so if I'm a service member and I say, well, these guys are open at different time, I can go ahead and hit the edit button, and I can go ahead and I can edit this location right here and make my changes. So if I'm also at a location, let's say I'm at Keezer Air Force Base, I may want to say, my chow hall is not listed here, and I can go ahead and enter that location here. And it'll give me a quick form that they can go ahead and enter the name and location, the physical address, and the thought is that maybe not all locations have physical address. You may be at Camp Bulldog or something like that in Afghanistan, and you won't have a location. It may be, the 3rd tent down the row. That may be your location. So try to do the Google map as much as possible to see if that works, but it may not work for all the times. You may have a, USS Ronald Reagan, and the chow hall is perhaps, the 3rd deck aft. So another thing you can do here is you can actually go in here and we can look at a location and we can make it a favorite, because you may spend all your time at Fort Bragg like my son and never leave, and so you want to set Fort Bragg as your favorite. So I'll just say favorite right here, hit favorite. It'll mark this as a favorite. And now if I go to favorites, I'll see a list of the favorite locations that I have, and so I can set up, Lemoore Air Station, Fort Bragg, Keesler, whatever I want to do as a favorite. And so when I log in this application, I can go to that location, hit my favorites, and see all the installations that I'm interested in. So let's go ahead and look at this real quick. And last thing I'll show you is how you can actually use Google Maps in here. So this is the JSOC Chow. Here's the prices, and they may want to say, I'm not sure exactly what this is at. I'm new on post. I just came from Korea, and I'm going to go ahead and map this. Click on the location here, and it's going to pop up Google Maps for you. It's going to load that into Google Maps and show you the exact location of this chow hall. It's a little slow on my Android emulator, but it'll pop up here in a second here. All right, so there's the location mapped on Google Maps. So the last thing I have in here is I have a nice little about page with some credits, and that is my application for the Veterans Hack Day 2011. Oh, one last thing I wanted to talk about. This was actually built on some free technology, so it was all written in Ruby and Rails, and the whole application is hosted for free on Heroku. And the nice thing about Heroku is you can scale the application up and down as you get more traffic on it. The backend database is all done on database.com. Thank you very much.